Hi everyone, today we're going to be making a shape robot. The things we're going to be using are recycled or empty boxes that have thin cardboard. So like the boxes I'm using are a pasta box, I used a box of Band-Aids, sandwich bags, and a cereal box. You're also going to need glue or tape and scissors, and then something to glue your robot to. I'm just using another piece of cardboard to glue my robot to. You could also glue it to paper. So to start, you're going to have to open up your boxes so it's easier to cut from them. So you can see these ones I've already opened and cut a few shapes already. But I wanted to show you how I opened it. So I've got this box of pasta here. I usually find on the bottom where these two pieces come together, and I'll pull that apart, glued. Then once the bottom and the top are opened, I will look and find where there's another two pieces of cardboard that meet, and I will just pull it apart like that. So now I've got a long rectangle to cut from that gives me more space, and it's a little bit easier to cut from this. So you could do one shape at a time for your robot, or you could just cut a bunch of shapes and then assemble it later, and that's what I did. I've already cut several shapes out. I think I'll do just a few more out of this box. I've done a lot of triangles, I've done some rectangles, I did a couple circles because I was thinking those would be eyes, but maybe I'll do some larger circles from this, and then I'll figure out later what those will be. If your cardboard's really large, you could cut a smaller piece from it and then cut out of this. Sometimes that's easier. So I'm cutting some circles. There's one circle, and then I'll add it to my shape pile. Maybe I'll do different size circles. That was a large one. Now I'll do a medium, and maybe I'll do a small. All right. I'm going to keep these next to me just in case I decide I want another shape. But now I'm going to start gluing my shapes together in the shape of a robot. So I'm going to tilt you down here so you can see my cardboard that I'm using for my background. And then these are all my shapes that I've already cut. So I cut this really large rectangle that I think I'm going to use for my robot's body. So I'm going to glue that in the middle of my cardboard right here. Let's see. On the back of this, I'm going to use dot, dot, not a lot. Put about 5 little dots, and then I can glue it to my background. All right, this looks like a good head shape for me. The nice thing about robots is they can have any shaped heads, any shaped bodies that you want. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to turn this so I have more room for my head. I'll glue my head right there. All right, then I saved a little bit of room for a neck. So now I want to look through my shapes and see what would be a good neck shape. Not seeing one, so maybe I'll cut another one. I haven't used this color yet from this box, so I think I'm going to do just a small rectangle for a neck. Or actually, yeah, a rectangle. Right there. If you're using different boxes, you will have to think about what colors you're using. If I cut out a brown triangle and put it on top of a brown rectangle, it would be hard to see. So you're going to want to make sure you're using different colors as you're cutting your shape so that you can see all of your details. So for example, I want to add eyes to my robot's head now. If I did blue eyes on the blue head, you wouldn't really see my eyes. So I cut out these orange and white circles. I thought those would really show on top of the blue. Glue one eye. glue my second eye. All right, so my robot has a head, a neck, a body, and 2 eyes. I think it needs some more. I've cut out these 2 long rectangles from a cereal box. You can see the cereal on there, but I think these would be good arms. So let's see, my robot's arm, maybe it's a little too long. Let's trim some of that off. I think I'll have 1 arm coming down and 1 arm coming up. And maybe I could have my robot holding something. I like to do that. Just putting little dots of glue on the back. All right, it's starting to look like a robot. Let's see, for legs, some of you know this, I like to give my robot wheels so he can just wheel along. So maybe I'll use some of these circles that I cut out, from that pasta box. I'll give him 2 wheels. I'm going to trim this circle, make it smaller now so it matches the other one. Like this. All right, I'm going to jump back up to my robot's face. It has eyes, but I think I want to add a mouth and probably some hair or something on the head, like a crown or a hat. So let's see, for the mouth, I don't want to use that blue because it would blend in. I'm seeing, this was left over from a different box, the green and the white would show up on that blue. So I think I will cut out a semicircle. I think that would look like a smile for my robot. Oh, I like that. Oh, you know what else I cut out? I forgot I did this. I wanted to give my robot some eyelashes. So I cut out a semicircle and then I cut little triangles out of it. So it made this zigzag line and I made 2 of those. I wanted those to be eyelashes or eyebrows. So I'm going to put some glue on the front, on the back. I'm going to take my eye off and glue my eye to it like that. All right, we're starting to look like a robot. I do think it's missing something up here. So I'm going to look at my shapes and see what could be hair. Or maybe I could make a crown. So I cut a bunch of triangles from my cereal box. I bet if I glued them so that they're overlapping like this, it will look like a crown. See that? So I measure it. Oh, 4 is perfect. So I'm gluing them overlapping. So one triangle kind of covers part of the other one. That. With 4. One more. All right. Oops. So my robot either has some really spiky hair or it's a royal robot and it's a crown. The last thing I think I'm going to do is add buttons. Now you could add more still, like I didn't add ears or a nose. I know I've seen people give their robot earrings on their ears. I could add a shape for hands. There's still a lot I could do, but I like it the way it is, and I'm just going to do buttons for last, which is actually one of my favorite steps because I can cut a bunch of just tiny shapes and glue them anywhere. So I'm going to start by just putting glue where I want there to be buttons. So little dots of glue. Maybe I'll put a big button right in the center there. Now again, I don't want to glue green buttons onto a green body because I won't see them. I had cut a bunch of really tiny little white rectangles. I think I will stick those on my dots of glue. So I have 6 little white buttons there. And then I want one big button in the middle. Maybe I'll use this triangle that I had made, and I'll trim it to another shape. Oh, you know what shape I haven't done is a hexagon. I'm going to try and make this a hexagon. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6 sides for a hexagon. There's my hexagon. That's going to be my big button in the middle of my robot. Maybe that's the on and off button. I also like to imagine, what do these buttons do, right? If I push this button, does the robot go clean my room? Or if I push this one, does he bring me an ice cream cone? It's kind of fun to imagine. So here is my finished robot. I started with boxes that were empty, opened them up, cut out shapes. Once I had a bunch of shapes, I glued them to a background. For me, the background was cardboard, but you could also do paper. I made sure my robot had a head, a neck, a body, arms. Instead of legs, I gave my robot wheels and a face and buttons. When you're done with your robot, make sure you send me a picture. I can't wait to see what it looks like.